My index finger.
Whew.
Number 69. 60 more to go.
Welcome to episode 8 of Next Top Upcycler.
Hi, I'm Helen.
I'm Peter.
I'm Valerie.
From Caracas, Venezuela.
San Francisco, California. Mexico City.
Johannesburg, South Africa.
Detroit. What up, yo?
And I am.
I'm
The Next
Top
Upcycler.
I'm your host, Angelina of Blueprint DIY, where I teach you how to remake your clothes to be just as unique as you are. It's time to go all over the world and share the stories, the journeys, and the upcycles of other creative people. But there's a twist. This is a competition where each contestant gets 1 week to complete the Ultimate Upcycle Challenge. You'll vote for the winner, and this season is all about denim.
Let's do this.
So make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss an episode or the opportunity to vote to crown the next top upcycler. Last week's contestant was Gina, a welder from Detroit. Yes, I said welder.
Welding is very, very similar to sewing. It's just fire.
Girl power. She had humongous obstacles, but she pulled through in the end with a piece I've never seen before. If you missed her episode, definitely go back and check it out after this one. Now you're all coming here to Houston, Texas to meet Helen.
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm 35 from Houston, Texas, and I'm the Next Top Upcycler. I was originally born in Honduras. I moved to Los Angeles when I was 3 years old, and I grew up there actually. I moved to Houston when I was about 25. Prior to that, I went to school in LA. It's actually Cal State Northridge in the Valley. And I studied to be a teacher. But eventually when I moved to Houston, I started with a school. And eventually I was promoted to being their human resources director. I did that for about 7 years. Eventually, however, I started working with my husband. We have a construction and design firm, and I've been doing that for about 6 years now. And it's a very rewarding position. I took a very basic sewing class about 5-7 years ago, I believe. And, you know, it taught me the basics of sewing, how to thread a machine, how to sew a straight line, but it really did help enough to get me in a much more comfortable position. And after that, I didn't sew. And I actually didn't start sewing again until about 2 years ago. My sewing machine, actually, my husband gave me. And I woke up one morning and I was like, you know, I have this sewing machine that's just been sitting there for a while. I've always been interested in design and being able to have an artistic flair to everything that I do. I started sewing much more seriously during the pandemic, since we were all, stuck at home, obviously trying to be, socially distanced and stuff like that. And so I think that that's when I took my sewing to the next level. And lucky for me, I was able to find Blueprint Renegades on Facebook, and I was able to find people that enjoyed it just as much as I did, and they were very supportive. And I think that just was the culminating thing to get me to just really start doing this seriously and taking my skill set to the next level. I do enjoy leaving the essence of what I took apart. So for example, this dress was a pair of jeans. I incorporated still the pockets from the jeans and stuff like that. And even in the back, I left a little tag in the jeans. I really like dresses. I really like making fancy dresses for these imaginary events that I'm gonna go to. So I am actually pretty blessed to have quite a bit of supporters, but I would say my biggest supporter for sure is my husband. He's the one that got me the sewing machine. When the challenge was posted on YouTube, he was like, you should really consider applying and things like that. So he's always one of those where it's if I'm doubting myself, he's like, no, you got this. Babe, I just wanted to really thank you for always being there for me, always being my number one supporter. You're the reason why I've achieved so much in my life, and we've been together for 12 years, but it feels like we've been together for a year, just because every moment we're together feels like just another adventure. And I'm very grateful to have you in my life. Just thank you. Thank you for always being there for me.
Hi, Helen. Are you ready to start the Ultimate Upcycle Challenge?
Yes, I am. Can't wait.
So can you show us your before pieces?
So I have quite a bit of jeans. I got nice big ones just so I have enough material.
So about how many pairs of jeans did you get?
Some of them are still washing, but I have 6 of them.
So what are you planning on making?
I'm probably in over my head. I'll say that. But, you know, go big or go home, right?
Yes.
So my idea is I want to make like an interwoven type of a situation. So it's going to have like the interwoven material all throughout. And then it'll have like these little like pieces of fabric that are coming down on it. And it's actually a like high-waisted type of like skirt that'll have just like maybe like a white top over it.
That is
Yeah,
amazing.
so it's gonna be a lot of cutting and things like that. So I got a bias tape maker. I'm gonna have just these long strips, and I'll use the bias tape maker to, you know, give it kind of like a finished edge, at least in the front. And then I also bought a basting adhesive, which I'm hoping will hold the material together just enough for me to be able to cut it into whatever pattern piece I'm making. And then this one, I'm trying to make my life a little easier. So this thing I found, and it's supposed to be able to cut about 26 inches, just like on a straight line. So I'm hoping that that'll like save me some time in the long process. So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I tend to be just very, you know, just get the crucial stuff, but I do feel because there's going to be so much cutting and so much folding that I thought it would be helpful to have, you know, these types of tools.
Oh yeah, I think those are going to save you a ton of time.
Yeah.
So you already showed us your drawing. Is there anything else that's part of your design process that you didn't tell us about?
So actually the drawing is a new thing. I do more of like putting it on my dress form and kind of visualizing it that way.
That's really good. So what do you want to have accomplished by the time we talk on Wednesday?
I want to have all the pieces cut. I'm calculating probably about 60 pieces of denim that I'll have to cut into 2 inches. I want to have the pattern pieces already sort of drafted, because the thought process is I'm going to make just like a big old sheet of fabric out of the interwoven part, and then once I draft the pattern pieces, then I'll go ahead and, you know, cut those out and create them that way.
Nice.
So I'm hoping I'll have at least the fabric already like put together, and then it's ready for cutting.
Okay. So you have quite a bit of work to do, although you've got some tools to make it easier. So that was really smart. But are you ready to go ahead and start this journey?
I am. I totally am. I can't wait.
So since you're ready to start this journey, you're ready to start cutting, you're ready to start sewing. On your mark, get set, go.
I'm going to start cutting the pants, which will ultimately be my pieces. You don't have to be perfect. Now what I want to do is get rid of any of the harder seams. You got 1 panel? 2 panels. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for this one. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and use this tool, which hopefully will be really, really helpful for me. I want to make the strips about 2.5 inches. So that they can fit into my 2-inch bias tape. I have probably about 70 strips, and we'll see. I'm thinking that's maybe how much I'll need, but I'm not sure yet.
I'm going to attach a few strips going this way and a few strips going this way. So I have the first set of strips pinned up. I'm going to put it at basically a basting stitch just so that it holds the stuff together.
So let's talk about this grand prize. A while ago, I did a video about all my dream upcycle tools, and the winner is getting all of them. Yes, all of them. It's a prize package worth over $800, including sewing accessories, a brother serger, a dress form, and the silhouette cameo for definitely gonna help out our upcyclers so much. You can definitely check out that video right here to see all that's included. And definitely subscribe, because I really think that this show needs to be on TV. And we're so close to 200,000 subscribers. I know we can get there by the season finale. So hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a thing. All right, back to the show.
It's day 3 of the project. I thought I would just have a little chat with you guys. I would say that the first 2 days went pretty well. I was actually ahead of time. I managed to figure out a decent rhythm for myself, but unfortunately for me, when it came down to putting all the pieces together, this is what I come up with. It looks like a craft project. Like, legit. I decided to go with 2 inches instead of 1 inch because I felt like that would just save me time. I didn't know how long it was gonna take to like have to cut every piece and put it together. And unfortunately for me, it was just not the right decision. So I'm gonna have to start from scratch again. Wish me luck. Number 69. 60 more to go.
Doing so much of this bias tape stuff has made it so that my thumb and my index finger are basically kind of numb. You can probably formally say this is the end of day 3 for me. It's been a really long day, but I have to admit that hard work really does pay off. I ended up being able to finish redoing all the pieces and putting together my first panel, and yeah, it looks amazing. I just got another 3 of these to go, but you know, I'm gonna call it a day for today, but great success.
So wait, did Helen just cut all those little strips and make a panel and then start over? Oh my gosh, that's some dedication. Let's check in and see how she's doing.
Hey, Angelina.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, feeling good?
Yes, I am.
Great.
As good as you can feel, you know, from working.
I know, this has been crazy week, huh?
Cutting and ironing and all this stuff.
All right, so Helen, go ahead and tell me like what's going on right now. Where are you in the process?
So I am on track. I
Okay.
did have a little bit of an issue, but I was able to create my first panel with all the interweaving.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at. Today, I need to do more of the strips, but literally I can't feel my 2 fingers from doing it so long. So I have to wait one more day to do that, but I'm gonna start working on doing the draping so I can make the pattern pieces to cut the material.
Okay, so cutting the strips on that cutter that you found, did that work?
Yes, I loved it. It honestly, like the cutting the strips, and I'm talking like a good 80 strips. It took me maybe like an hour, hour and a half.
Oh
Like it was
wow.
like, yes. And honestly, it only took like the hour because you still have to, you have to cut the jean and you have to take the heavier seams out and kind of prepare it.
Hmm.
But the actual cutting was like amazing.
So let's go ahead and see it.
So here it is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. So I am gonna get rid of like the darker denim
Okay.
just because I feel like it's a bit random. I prefer it's already a lot anyway, a lot of detail. So I don't think that I need that. So that's the only thing that I'll be changing from this panel.
Okay.
But essentially I have 1 more of these to go and then maybe half of this for the top part.
Okay.
So the issue that I ran into is that I was gonna make these 2 inches because
Yeah.
I thought it would save me time. So this is how it turned out. And it's not terrible, but it looks a little crafty for my taste. So I prefer the smaller squares, more intrigued, right?
I agree.
So I literally had to go and iron all of them back flat and then cut them in half to be able to then pull them through the tape maker.
Okay.
But luckily, because I saved so much time with like the tool and things like that, like I really just wasted maybe like half a day and was still able to meet my deadline to have that panel ready for today.
Okay, perfect.
Because you just don't know, you don't know until you actually put it on the dress form or you create it
Yeah.
that you're like, oh, I should have not, I should have done just a little bit more work to get the smaller square.
I definitely agree that that is hands down a much better approach to it.
So that's why literally I can't feel my finger, like my thumb and my index. But it's been fun so far. It's just part of the process, right?
Yeah, but it's looking really, really good. And it does look like you had to put in a ton of time on that weaving. So can we see your sewing space?
So this is where I do all of my cutting. It's my cutting space. As you can see, that's the tool that I was referring to for the cutting. And then I just have regular iron. On this side, I have just where I store all of my leftovers or material that I want to use for sewing. And then this is my serger that I just recently got. My parents actually found it for me in LA.
Yay,
and it was
mom and dad.
$45, which was amazing. And then just typical scissors and things like that. And then this thing I got from my husband since he went to architecture school. This is actually his. So I just have like my thread and the typical stuff, some buttons. I use this for when I work with leather.
Oh, cool.
And then
yeah, I have one of those.
And that's my sewing machine right there. It's a ES 2000 and just very simple. It has like 39 stitches, of which I use maybe just the top half. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my whole sewing space. Oh, and then I have, like just like a small ironing board.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Cool. So what do you have left to do before Saturday, the big reveal?
So I have to finish my paneling and I have about 1.5 left. Once I create the pattern pieces, it's cutting it and sewing it together, and that's pretty much it. So,
okay, awesome. And I am definitely looking forward to seeing how yours turns out. It's looking amazing so far. It looks like you still have a ton of work to do, so I am going to let you get to work and make it amazing. I'll see you on Saturday.
Alrighty, bye. I had a pretty long day yesterday, just having to fix all the pieces and put them back together, but at least I was able to get my first panel done. And so today I have almost enough to make the second panel, so that's good. I'm going to be working on doing that today, and then also creating the pattern pieces that I'll ultimately use to cut this material. The design I'm trying to come up with is not up here. It's actually a little lower on the bust area. I'm actually going to be wearing a top instead. I just kind of want to get a feel for the design. I'm going to try it on, make sure that it works. I'm going to make more pieces, and then I'm going to put it on paper and see, basically use it to be able to cut out these pieces. I'm taking a little dinner break, and I thought I would come here and chat with you guys a little bit. Good tacos. So I have been able to make 2 panels out of the denim material, and then the blue top part of it is what's going to be a sort of corset-y, high-waisted part of the skirt. Biggest lesson learned is if you need a lot, make that and then some more. It's all worth it in the end if it turns out the way that I want it to. So I just want to finish one last panel, and then I'll call it a night. Okay, so it is officially the last day of the challenge, or at least the last full day that we have to be able to work on our projects. I am feeling pretty confident today. I stayed up pretty late yesterday, kind of getting the dress to almost done, and then ran into a situation where my zipper was too big. I went ahead and stopped at Joann's to just get the right size, but I'll be able to install that today, and I'll be able to formally try on the dress, make sure, crossing my fingers, everything looks good. So as you can see, the zipper is nice and in place. I did put a couple of pins in there just because this is like very, very thick material, so the zipper tape was having a hard time, kind of keeping everything together. So I have to make some chain that I want to add as accent to the dress. So I found out that if I just hook it to my jeans or my shorts, it makes it easier for me to hold it and then carry the denim through. It's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, but this at least helps it kind of stay stable. So I spent some time last night, but I really wanted to add this chain accent to the dress because how fabulous is this? So right now, this is how it's gonna look on the top part of it, and I'm debating how I wanna include this onto the waist because I want it to be defined. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. It defines the waist versus without it, where it just kind of becomes like a block. Woo! It is 11:24 on the last day of the challenge. It turns out my little details that I was going to try to finish turned out taking a lot longer than what I thought, and I officially don't have any feeling in my thumbs. Regardless of whether I win or not, it was a very challenging project, but at the same time, it was just very rewarding. It's just super cool, and I'm very happy with myself. I was able to accomplish what I wanted to do, and that's a win in and of itself. So
okay, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. Helen is actually in the Blueprint DIY Facebook group, and whenever she posts, everybody goes bonkers. And I think she's done it again. So I hope you guys are strapped in and ready to see this. But you guys are gonna be the judge, so make sure you pay attention and subscribe so you don't miss any of the episodes and the chance to vote starting April 24th at blueprintdiy.com. All right, let's see her final look. Hi, Helen. All right, so how has your final days been since I talked to you on Wednesday?
They've been very long. There's been a lot of like ironing and cutting and putting things together, but it's been fun. I mean, I had long days. I'm talking like 3:30 to like 11:30 at night to like get it done.
Wow.
So yeah, at times I would even forget to eat, but it was worth it. Yeah.
That's definitely how I am. So how do you feel about the final piece?
I'm obsessed. Literally obsessed. Like it turned out better than what I thought it was going to turn out. I love it. It's definitely going to be one of those pieces that will forever like be in my closet.
I can't wait to see it. But first, I want to know what gave you the most trouble throughout the process.
I ended up adding an accent piece that was totally an afterthought. And that was after having gone to the thrift. I went to the thrift store and I found this item that I got inspired by. And so yesterday night, I finished it. And that took me way longer than I thought it would have taken me, for sure.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to see it. And I'm sure everybody else is ready to see it. So why don't you share it with us in 3, 2, 1.
Firefly, how short is life? I dreamt we had more than 20. I have seen this before, and I have lived more than plenty. Now lay me in the ocean. All them skies know our names. When it's time, burn me steady. Then lay me in the ocean. Why? Lullabies, I've used my time. Now lend me to the ocean.
Now I'm getting Balenciaga vibes. Like,
yes.
So this was the extra accent that I ended up adding.
Okay.
That took me forever. Tell me you don't love it. Come on.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. And the fit, girl, the fit.
Oh, and by the way, this is like a button. And I actually wore this top because I thought it would be kind of a cool little detail because it was actually the first top I posted to your upcycle group.
Oh,
and
cool.
So I thought it was a nice, like little 360
Yeah.
or 180.
That is so cool. It feels like to me the weaving of it gave it the perfect amount of give to be that fitted.
Yeah, so I struggled with the fit a little bit because I chose not to sew in between my lines because I wanted like the three-dimensionality, like that look.
Yeah.
And so the fit was interesting for me because I'm very used to making clothes that's very fitted to me. And so I would find it at times where I felt like it wasn't quite as fitted as I would want it to be. And inadvertently, what I didn't realize last night was that when I added this here,
Mm-hmm.
it really structured my waist.
Yeah. Okay.
But for whatever reason, I'm thinking because the metal has like rigidity, it ended up bringing the waist back. So that was the right choice for sure.
Oh, that yes. Just like you said, that's a whole like Chanel. It is just such
Yeah.
a runway moment. I literally feel so bad for people watching because you guys are bringing it, like
Yay.
bringing it. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so happy. So the struggles that you were saying that you would talk about, like, so what was that?
Okay, so when I decided to go forward with the accent, I actually put in this denim. Like the denim was not in there. So
Okay.
that's actually a lot harder than I thought it would. And it took me probably like 30, 40 minutes to do each of these pieces. I hand sewed this together, and working through the denim was like,
Yeah.
it took me like a good 4 hours last
Yeah.
night. So yeah, so that was kind of the struggle, but I do think that it was well worth it because it did give it like that extra finish look, you know?
Yeah.
I think the other little thing that I added to this is that you can remove this. So if you ever wanted to wear it just a little simpler, you can do that.
Cool. So what inspired you? So the chain actually inspired you, or you saw something else with the loops in the chain?
Well, I mean, this is kind of like common of Chanel.
Right.
And so I think that when I saw the purse and the chain was like so available to me, I was like, well, like why not bring in some Chanel to the look?
I am just floored. It is so good. And the fit is amazing. Well, everybody knows I love anything hanging down, like any strips, any
I know.
ties hanging down. I absolutely love. So yes. And I mean, because
I
like
think
when you walk, like you got to give it to the people. So how was this process for you? I know that you're a hobby upcycler and you like to take your time and do everything just as it feels good for you. So how was this competition style upcycling for you?
this dress has been in my mind for a good 6, 7 months.
Oh
And I
wow.
actually would always avoid doing it because I knew the level of work that it was going to take. And I just thought it was so cool. Here comes this, competition that you set up. And I was like, well, maybe this is the perfect moment to do it. It was cool because once again, had I not had the excuse of the competition, I probably would have like sat on this skirt thing for like ever because it's just a lot of work.
I can, yes, a ton of work, but it shows. And those are the pieces that you just remember forever. The
Mhm,
details, like the
mhm.
details. And yes, it's
Yeah.
just is the details are just amazing. I love like the way you put in the zipper is immaculate. Just
Thank
how it's just so like form fitting. It's just immaculate. I absolutely love your construction, just your attention to detail.
you.
So tell everybody why you think you should be the next top upcycler. Why they should vote for you.
I think that I should be the next top upcycler because I put so much attention to this project. I put all my heart and soul into it. It was something that I had wanted to do for a really long time, and I accomplished it. And then just looking back at where I started, having not had any sewing experience, and just seeing what I've been able to accomplish, with this garment is just amazing. And I love it. It's a timeless piece, and it will forever live in my closet.
So let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's the fit for me. It's the way it walks for me. Yes, absolutely. Share this video if you want people to come and vote for Helen. Let me know in the comments. Are you team Helen? And definitely come back next week to see what our final contestant will do. And all the t-shirts that I've worn throughout this video are in the merch shop down below. If you want to support Blueprint DIY and Next Top Upcycler, and I do have a tutorial for this shirt I have on, I'll put it right here. And I'll see you guys next Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time for another premiere, the last contestant of Next Top Upcycler. I hope you guys are thoroughly enjoying this. If you are, please share it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!